Welcome, my friends. It is time to travel, my friends, in a world that does not contain any polygons, or, God forbid, you say the words quaternion to me. You would be fired. I would shove you straight into a toilet and you would be newly rehired as a skibbity face. Because quaternions are fucking garbage. I finally found a solution that works yet again. I just did it for the third time. I killed something in programming and I will never ever use it. Tell me about it. What you see here is done effortlessly. I effortlessly just joined a bunch of blocks together that stare at the camera. How much effort did I put into that? Fuck no. Nothing. I just ask AI for titsy-bitsy of code, and you will see everything. You'll see all my struggle, bro. I'll express all my pain and suffering in this comedy special. Or, like, we're going into, like, a very important stage in my life where I'm actually, godlike. I'm making the world. I'm changing the world. I just need to populate it with cool shit. Right? And just the simple act of placing blocks is, so fucking satisfying. Already. But there was something that stand in my way. Rotating the fucking block. Nobody actually tells you how to do it. In fact, Unity was misleading us this whole time. Unity is the biggest spawn of evil, if you ask me. It has been deceiving us and throwing us off a cliff twice in a row. Not just one time. It's not just quaternions that are the problem. There was no correct solution. I was going insane, guys. I was going insane, guys. And yet the moment I found the correct solution, everything clicked into place and it was easier than ever before. And it replaced all my codes and all the necessities. And everything that I explored was deemed obsolete. Everything that I've done to this point, considering rotations of objects, was deemed obsolete. There's obviously more to it. Like, I have to animate the rotations, but that stuff does not occur currently. Like, it's not happening right now. I just needed stuff to rotate towards me, and that's it. And somehow I had a fucking hard time doing that. So, welcome, guys, on a journey of rotating objects. Journey across Unity, programming, and the greatest deception of all time. Look at this thing. It says rotation. Do you see that? Do you see that ugly fucking bitch? It says rotation. And what does it give you? It gives you a bunch of angles. And it cannot decide between two things, right? Okay, I get Euler angles. Euler angles, guys. Something that I've learned how to use, but it's actually fucking useless. It's fucking useless. But it gets worse. Because Euler angles is not quaternions at all. Quaternions are a whole different breed. A whole different breed. The most staggering thing that I have to put down immediately is when I said what the right solution is, AI was just like, yeah, I agree with you. So why are we not doing that? Oh, no, we're already doing that in, like, aerospace and robotics. Like we use it in, like, the most important industries of all time. We already, like, have the correct solution, but we're not gonna tell you about it, Unity is not actually gonna, plug it in. We already rotating using Euler angles. What else are we supposed to do? This thing has given me a fucking headache for days. Every single time it gives me a headache, and Quaternion just jumps on top of me and just like, can I get a ooh yeah? Oh my fucking god, dude. My life was miserable. I was I was bullied, bro. I was bullied. Oh my god. And these are my enemy names. It's like the good cop and the bad cop, bro. It's like crazy, dude. It's crazy. Hey, you know how to use me. You use me all the time, said the good cop. And right now, Unity sucks so bad. I can't actually show objects rotating. Please? Alright. How much do you see again? Okay, you see the four things, so you see the fucking Neon Cat. And I can rotate Neon Cat even though it's 2D. Two-dimensional. Alright, so, alright, let's see. Rotation. Still Euler angle 2D object. Am I right? We know what's up. Now, riddle me this, daddy. Riddle me this. What if you needed to face the camera right now? What would you do? Well, you had to slowly figure out and get the wrong answer, basically. A successful wrong answer. Slowly, here you go. You rotate it towards camera. Okay. See, in the world of rotations and positions and whatnot, everything is a fucking vector. None of these are vectors, my friends. These are deceptions. These are bad cops, bro. They want to beat you up. None of these are vectors. Everything is supposed to be a vector, but somehow rotation is a magical fucking angle. Mashup of angles, bro. Alright. Anyways, guys, let the battle begin. It's time to unpack everything that these things have done wrong. It's time to laugh at just random people who are struggling to explain what the fuck Euler angles are, what local Euler angles are, because that's a whole fucking new type of angles, local ones too. Wow. How many do we need to just rotate objects? What is going on? And then quaternions show up at some point, sometimes. You try to push them into a box, but it's like they're fucking crawling in there. You know? You know they exist. You know you have to learn something about them. Oh boy. Adam just came out with his stand-up special, and come on, man. Just retire. Just rotate out of here, boy. You got nothing to discuss about. When programmer stands up on stage, bruh, it's over. We have struggled long enough. In the end of the video, if you take this video seriously, I will give you guys the solution. The solution exists that does not contain any Euler angles or quaternions. You can actually escape this nightmare. You will literally get out of jail free card in the very end of the video. And to maybe some of people have such fucking big brains, they already know the solution. But you didn't tell anyone, did you? Alright. This guy tries to explain quaternions, and honestly, now it's gonna be funny. Everything about people trying to explain quaternions is gonna be funny. This is now material to laugh at. And that's it. That's all we're gonna be doing today. We're just gonna laugh at everything about this. Mind you, these things do work. Okay, do work. It's four-dimensional numbers. they work. It's completely normal for a human to understand four-dimensional numbers. Everything's fine here, guys.
In a moment, I'll point you to our engineering channel.
Aw, you have such a cool name, Ben Eater. How many Bens did you eat?
If you don't know who he is, viewers of this, a certain four-dimensional number system that the 19th century versions of Wolverine and the Old Man from Home Alone called evil for how convoluted it seemed at the time.
Bro, even Wolverine can defeat quaternions. Even Wolverine considers that evil, you know, and can just like kick his ass. You know when Batman says that something is evil, that means that he's probably looking for help. You know, he can't do this alone anymore. That guy is evil. Oh my god, stop him. You know, the only time this kind of thing slips is like a person literally couldn't stop the evil. They have to tell someone else about it. They have to be calling the police, and it still slips into like just the greater consciousness of like even police can't fucking deal with this guy. You know? If a concept is evil and concept? Quaternion? Someone made up evil right now? You know what? You know, I'm on the heavy side. I'm on the heavy side of history right now. I completely agree. They are evil. And they have corrupted our society. These fucking quaternions. No. No, we're not gonna turn. We're gonna turn. We're not gonna turn. We're gonna turn. Forget about using the word turn when you can turn instead. Turn, boy. What? Stop. Stop making fun of me. It would be such a nice word, at least containing the word turn. Turn something around, rotate. Cool, right? Nah, we fucked everything
Perhaps
up.
you too are wondering why on earth anyone would bother with such an alien-seeming number system.
Yeah, because they want to be beaten up in the middle of the street. Public humiliation has to has to be done to them so we can fucking move on a little bit, you know? Who cares? I care because it was shoved in my face when I was trying to figure out how to rotate objects. It was shoved in there. Quaternion or rotation, mind you, I cannot put dots in there, but rotation was a thing in Unity, and I had to figure out what is that. And I never figured it out. I watched these videos too. I try to understand what quaternion is and why is it being fucking shoved in my face, but I still didn't figure out even after watching them because there's so much convoluted information in here. Yeah, why would anyone care? But the only reason why people care is there is no better solution. Apparently, you know, we have fooled ourselves that there's no better solution. We just kind of gave in and collapsed. So I've done this 2 times already. First time I killed polygons because it was already stinking. Someone else was already whispering in my ear that this was possible. Escaping polygons was indeed possible. Oh yeah, it comes with unlimited detail. And mind you, this video is the same one. Nothing changed. These old videos, they still occupy this search term, basically. This guy is still the guy who fucking allegedly killed polygons, but went off to making his own business because he's Australian and he doesn't give a fuck, you know, about the rest of the world. Look at the zoo, though. Look at the animals. I'm Australian. I like animals, he said, you know, but he killed polygons. And there was a chance that if I follow his footsteps, I can do the same thing. You know, I can find the similar solution. And I did that. I figured it out. Now, there is a question if I can still apply physics to my objects, if I can just fully hijack the entirety of computer graphics and the way it functions into my engine. But for now, rendering just works, right? And the next step is obviously putting as much detail as I possibly can, just cramming in that detail, right? Or optimizing my engine so it has more FPS. I'm running at 30 FPS. But the fact of the matter is, like, escaping polygons was actually becoming a dream after I listened to this guy for a little bit, right? He even promised us, like, a game engine, and that never came into reality. Far from it, in fact. He just created some kind of hologram bullshit and just ran with it. Other people try to figure out how it would work, but, you know, they never went too far with it. They just kind of theorized in 2D space, seemingly finding the solution. But I used something entirely different. I was inspired and I went all the way. I found the way through this tunnel, quantum tunnel. That was the second thing. The first thing was sorting. Okay? So just like I'm running away from Euler angles and quaternions, I was running away from polygons as well. But also in sorting, I was running away from arrays. There's a specific thing people are locked in. They're fucking locked in. They're so deadlocked, bro. Just like the Earth is round, they're locked in. They have no fucking evidence for a round Earth, but they're locked in. They love it. They love the idea that they have never tested before. So arrays, they locked in. They say you can only use arrays when you are sorting. And I'm like, there's one more thing you can be using. You can use lists. In fact, when I used lists in a correct manner, I sorted twice as fast as the world fucking breaking sorting method right now. The world leading sorting method does not compare with my fucking method. Alright? That's it. And people not even double checking if that's true. I'm just like, I'm changing the world inside a room and nobody fucking cares. That's what's actually going on. Everyone has to care about the stupid fucking quaternions, and I have to be mad all the time. Where's the fucking justice, guys? Where's the justice, man? Every single time, I'm starting to realize that if I bump into a problem, it's real. That's a real problem. If I just walk around and I bump into a problem, I actually have to fix it. You know? I genuinely have to find a solution to a problem because it very likely was never solved by anyone. We just got some fucking lie shoved into our faces and we just succumb to it. And everything else feels like it breaks rules or something. And I do not understand people's mentality, but okay, you're really that bad at solving problems. And I have leveled up. Because now, every time I feel uncomfortable, it's a problem. There was one time when I felt uncomfortable as well. So Unity introduced this bullshit thing, which is anchors. Anchors. And guess what I did with anchors? You know? Guess where they are right now? Yes, they have completely disappeared because they're fucking useless. Why? Why do we need anchors? And they're like everywhere. These motherfuckers, this little fucking cross thingy is everywhere. And I just made it disappear because it's useless. I can figure out how much I want to scale something. I can scale it and reposition it if I'm fucking desperate. But most of the time I don't have to. I don't understand, dude. Anchors just introduced more problems than solutions. So I made that shit disappear. But oh no, it wasn't that easy to make it disappear. I literally have to anti-code it. What does that mean? It means I got punched in the face and I have to sit in the fucking hospital room for a day. You know, for the pain to go away. That's what it means. It means that you don't get any benefits from having anchors, but if you want them to go away, you have to work your ass off. You have to anti-code it. You have to negate its effects first, right? It's like you are still poisoned. You still like pull out a snake's fang that's stuck in your leg, basically. You just pull that shit out and you still have to heal yourself. You still have to find the antidote to the bullshit that anchors are doing. So not only right after anchors we have shit that doesn't make any sense, which is rotation, but literally they're friends. They're together. They're conspiring against the world, you know? Unity one day introduces anchors, and it's like, wow, they are buddies. They are friends. They introduce more problems than solutions, and I can't understand how you can do that, but at the same time, I do play Hearthstone, where often enough developers just think more problems is the solution. You know, more stupid gameplay is the good gameplay. You know, because people, instead of living life and doing well in life, they should just be offered drugs, you know? Why don't we just offer drugs to people? Then they're gonna be happy. You know, even if their life's gonna fall apart, just give them drugs. That's a good solution to fucking nothing. I genuinely think that you're gonna be exposed to like how programming world is just completely malfunctioning. Just completely improper. We're supposed to have like smart people in here, and I don't know where they are because they're actually not fixing the already existing issues that slows us down. When I'm a big boy, when people know who I am, then finally people also gonna recognize that holy shit, we have been doing things wrong the whole time. And now it comes the time to talk about quaternions, right? A third problem. That is in fact a problem. But nobody seems to care, right? Everyone seems to be able to like push through it. Before we complicate things, let me just show you the code without explaining too much of what's going on. All right? So quaternion is a float 4 garbage. All right? Float 4. You can multiply quaternions. You have to normalize apparently quaternions. What? Shut up. You rotate quaternion? What? I don't know what that means. I probably have a function like that, but I just don't understand. Rotates towards something with a quaternion. So this is rotates towards something with a quaternion, which is supposed to be like easy because you have a quaternion already. You have the current quaternion, and then you want to, you know, rotate towards. So this is the code for quaternion. What is that? Six lines? And I obviously I super compress code because it's a lot easier for me to work on it when because I'm scrolling up and down constantly to search for my code. It is what it is. This is a code that I need, and that's it. I need officially 5 lines of code to do everything that I want to do right now. Everything else here is just mumbo-jumbo garbage. In fact, this is not 6 lines of code. This is 7, plus it normalizes the quaternion, meaning 8. It uses this line. It does this quaternion function, which is another line. Okay, weird. So in total, we actually using 10 lines. Or 9 lines for now. What is that? We also rotate the quaternion. Do we use multiplication? Yes, we use multiplication. We use all these lines. To do what exactly? This? Like, I'm dead, bro. I'm dead inside. I would ask for like a single reason to use quaternions, and I actually would have to search for a very long time. Euler angles are also pretty fucking inconvenient in actuality because, again, we rather use a vector to represent direction. I'll get to that point, but basically this whole fucking chungus, this is me struggling to make the code work. And I just did it with one function. One function! That's all I need, just one function. In fact, I see that this is pretty large. If I rename it, I can probably just shove it in one line, and it would become 4 lines, basically, of code. It's 4 lines of code. Just, that's it. And you know why this video occurs right now? AI is the thing that just gives you that green light of just total confirmation of like, yeah, it's gonna work. Yeah, don't worry about it, it's gonna work. And I'm like plugging in the code and it's just, yeah, that shit works. That shit works better than expected. That shit is something that I was dreaming about when I was dealing with quaternions. That was the only thing I knew of how to rotate objects, and now I don't need them anymore. I'm free. I can't. Well, what is that? Why? Why do we need so much struggle when just one function was enough? I can't. So I struggled how many lines of code in how many days? You can think that every line of code was at least an hour of effort, because this is hardcore stuff that I don't understand. But maybe even more than that. Maybe it was like 2 hours. And I can only like work intensely 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day. So 4 lines is a whole day lost on this nonsense. This is 17 lines. This is 4 days completely swiped away. Like, they're gone. All of this is useless information. And will be, you know, forgotten. 15 lines. Useless. And then this is the newest and the greatest. I asked AI, okay, let's use quaternions. Let's fucking turn this thing. You know how to do it. I don't know how to use quaternions. Fuck it, let's go. And it spits me this code, right? And obviously this code is using the quat. So this is left over, right? Again, 12 lines of code. Just nothing, basically. Just do a very simple task, which with an actual real solution I can do in 5 lines. So 12 and 5. Like, excuse me? And let's not mention, oh wow, I do have to mention, let's talk about how ugly quaternions actually are. Well, by just watching the video, you know? Quaternions are fucking ugly. Like, how do you actually define a quaternion? How do you understand? How do you comprehend? What are these 4 numbers? So quaternion is 4 numbers that I still don't understand what they are. I know that you also need to cram into your fucking foreheads that quaternion identity is not 0, 0, 0, 0, but it's an identity. It has its own, like, you know, pronouns. So it basically is 0, 0, 1. Because we added the 4th value is the ultimate value. And it starts not at 0, but at 1. Quaternion identity, where 0 rotation has happened, is unfortunately not fucking 0 anyways. You know? It's still gonna fucking be a nightmare for you. It breaks my heart, my friends, that I got to this point, that I have to break myself free, that most of the programming is to break yourself free from bullshit. In fact, AI is also a break away from just like, kind of like a pathetic version of programming things, because you just ask of what your vision is, and it spits out the code. We all know how it works, but back 5 years ago, I was just dreaming about it, of like, we have to escape, we have to just type in words, and it gives us what we want. We have to get that technology. I was just rolling in my bed, sweat and tears, bro. And it actually happened. One dream came true. One thing the world knew that I couldn't do on my own. The rest, I might be able to do it on my own. In our fingertips, we have the greatest confirmation ever. Double check with AI.
Involving 3D orientation is probably the biggest use case.
He said robotics.
Mathematically for a lot of reasons, but this application for computer graphics and robotics and virtual reality and anything involving 3D orientation is probably the biggest use case for quaternions.
Yeah, I find it not true. Find it not true, actually. You just said words, bro. You said words. Back up your words, my friends.
To take one example,
I've tried 5 different times to understand quaternions. I've shipped production code to hundreds of millions of devices involving them, and I still don't get them. Well, didn't. What? This is the first time I really understood. Oh my god. Imagine just working your ass off and not even understanding what are you holding in your hands. What is the tool that you're fucking using at all to solve complex issues, you know? But obviously this guy is an NPC. This guy, has been converted to Jesus because fake Santa Claus came up to him and gave him a present. It's like, I understand the soul of Christmas is Jesus Christ. I still don't understand, actually. Yes, 3 blue, 1 brown, you are converting people into knowing what quaternions are. You're finally enlightening them to use more quaternions, not less. And again, confidence is a very weird thing because, of course, quaternions are going to do some fucking stupid, fundamentally broken thing that I can't recreate in some cases or whatever. But you must understand the most fundamental thing that happening on the screen right now. If something cannot be intuitively understood, forget about it. Just forget about it, bro. My solution is the most intuitive thing. I didn't even thought I can do it beyond Euler Angles, and unfortunately I can. I thought Euler Angles were kind of like already good enough, right? It's like, if I can represent rotation in Euler Angles, if I just need these 3 numbers to just do their thing, okay, we got it, right? But we didn't get it. Let's not mention that there is local space Euler Angles. The moment you rotate your object, your local space rotates the entire axis, basically. Just ever so slightly, right? You move from here to here and it rotates the entire axis. Your local angles change. And it actually makes no sense to me. Because all of a sudden, now you have to translate between these 2 things. Local and Euler angles. Alright? You add quaternions, and now you have to translate between those things. And I think quaternions, they're local by default. I don't even know. I genuinely don't know. And I just wiped that shit off the screen. Because again, every single time you have to translate or you have to grab it as a translated version, like, there's a lot of fucking weird shit. It was hard enough to translate from just local space into world space. I didn't want it to do it again. That would be crazy.
in space. That's right, your phone almost certainly. The thing is, there are other ways to think about computing rotations, many of which are way simpler to think about than quaternions.
Wait, did he catch me? This is not funny anymore, guys. Did he just catch me running with bag full of cash and I'm like, I got it. I got that easy solution. Is he gonna catch me right now? Because absolutely this guy is just unbelievable genius. Let's see if he caught me. Because I'm pretty sure he did. But that kind of makes it more fun, actually. Because he's still gonna fucking go team quaternions or some bullshit like that.
For example, any of you familiar with linear algebra will know that 3x3 matrices can really nicely describe 3D transformations.
Yeah, that's very intuitive. I understand absolutely nothing about this.
Programmers think about constructing a rotation matrix for a desired orientation
Okay, I do understand something about it. Right? There's the forward somewhere, right? This is basically 3 vectors. Like that is understandable. That is not out of the ordinary. That's cool. Not the solution.
Is to
More
imagine rotating
candidates.
an object
Next.
around 3 easy-to-think-about axes, where the relevant
Yay!
angles for
Euler
these
angles.
rotations are commonly called Euler angles. And this
Fucking
mostly
Euler.
works, but
Fucking
one big
Euler,
problem
bro.
is that it's vulnerable.
Yes. Americans really love oil. But, or really hates Euler. Really hate that guy. You know, so he's oil actually. He's oiling this machine very well. Okay, that's your second solution, bro. Nah.
Vulnerable to something called
Nope.
gimbal lock, where when 2 of your axes of rotation get lined up, you lose a degree of freedom. And it can also cause
I don't even know what
difficulties
that
and
means still.
ambiguities when trying to interpolate between 2 separate orientations.
That's
curious for
cool.
more
That
of the
was cool. That was Euler did it. We're gonna call it Euler at this point. I'm sorry, guys. If you're typing in a comment of like, oh shit, I love oil and I drink oil every day, I'm like, you probably have pretty good teeth. But also, leave me alone. I'm an Euler guy. I'm an Euler type of guy. Ew. Ew. Didn't we just did Eurovision? Oh. Euler? Should I say Euler? Europe? Eurovision? Uh-oh. I think we say Euler. Euler angles. Fuck yeah, dude.
If you're
Euler.
curious for more of the details, there
Euler
are many
angles,
resources
guys.
online to a few of them.
Fucking stupid gimbal lock.
Not only
But,
for learning about oil locations.
Euler did
If you're
it. Euler made him
when
fucking
trying to
crack his neck,
interpolate
bro.
between 2 separate orientations.
Aha. This happened for a very interesting reason, because it's basically impossible in some ways to get from one orientation to the other smoothly with Euler angles. It's sort of, I imagine, it's like not understanding which way to go, so it just goes all the way around to get to a specific rotation. It can be really fucking disturbing.
Do quaternions avoid issues like
Oh,
gimbal lock?
You're already doing the transition, aren't you? You already feel like you escaped. My friends, you did not find the solution. You did not have it in your hands. That makes me very happy that you're that fucking weird. Alright. Go ahead now. Everything you're gonna say is completely fucking
They
worthless.
give a really seamless way to interpretations.
You know, I am intimidated by this guy because he knows so many things. He understands quaternions. That is the most intimidating feature of a human being. I don't care how big your muscles are. I care if you understand quaternions. Okay? You come up to a street with a fucking knife drawn out and like, bro, you probably don't even understand what quaternions are, bro. Get out of here. Oh wow, I'm so scared. You probably can't even rotate the knife towards me, you know? To be able to stab in the direction where I'm standing. You can't even rotate because you don't understand what quaternions are. What a fucking loser. I would never be intimidated by anyone else, to be honest. But these kind of fucking nerds.
Rotate some angle about some axis.
Yeah, I don't want to do that, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going, guys. I just know that I fucking hate quaternions and I was able to escape it, even though I had to, like, knock on, like, 10 doors to get the code that I want. Today. Implemented today. Yeah, everything is intuitive. Everything fucking clicked into place today. In just, like, hour. If I try to understand quaternions, it would take me forever, and I would still not understand it, because it's behind complex cross, cosine, sine math, basically. I can read this all day long, I will never understand it. Guys. Never. Dots. Nothing makes sense. I make like 3 crosses, 4 crosses, and a sinus. Cosinus. Alright. It's necessary, but for fuck's sake, this is way crazier. It has that and then some. It has the quaternions themselves that I don't understand. Can I rotate in any axis? Probably not. I don't care. But potentially, yes. Potentially I can still do it. See, it's not about rotation of axis, it's about aligning the face of the object towards where you want that object to face. Now, if we're talking about physics, potentially quaternions are unavoidable. But you're already dealing with a complex issue beyond anyone's understanding.
Axis with a unit vector. Some sense by the end of this whole experience.
Sure, everything will make sense by the end of this experience. What, am I taking a flu shot? What is going on? Hopefully everything will turn out just fine in the end. We have to divide things. We have to do nonsensical things, guys.
Now let's say you have
I'm
some
scared.
3D point is not just a single quaternion product, but a sort of
Welcome, it's a cooking show, apparently.
quaternion sandwich, where you multiply by q.
It's a quaternion sandwich, actually. That makes sense. We're learning, guys. We are learning things.
From the left.
Yeah,
and the
just
inverse of
sandwich. That makes sense. Easy.
In what
Again, it's intimidating to know what quaternions are, learning how to fucking use them, but you don't have to, in most cases, I imagine. At very least, it shouldn't be the starting point at all. I might have some bonus memes, guys. When I was talking to AI was so locked in into just giving me a specific type of code. So this is me realizing, basically. But we go back in time even more, and I ask for a specific code, and it gives me this. You know what this is? Guys, do you know what this is? Compute quaternion to rotate plus z into direction. Target. This didn't even work, by the way. But you know what AI tried to fucking sneak in? It tried to sneak in the matrix. It tried to sneak in the entire fucking matrix of 3x3 matrix. You can see it right here. Can you fucking believe? I asked a quaternion solution, and I got something entirely different, meaning that quaternions can't even do it properly. Until I asked again, and I did get a solution like this that looks clean, alright? But bro, AI tried to sneak in something that doesn't even work, that contains a matrix. Matrix was trying to help keep the quaternion together, basically. Or helped quaternion do its things, as if like quaternion was like cheating in class during a test of like, I can't really do it myself. Can I look at you, Matrix? Can I get a little bit of your work, Matrix, please? And again, that code didn't even work. It didn't even fucking work. When I asked AI to give me this also didn't really work. This also had problems. Can you fucking imagine, bro? The Matrix fucking cheat code didn't work. This didn't work exactly how I wanted this. This worked out of the box immediately, was intuitive, and I was able to fucking apply it into my work immediately and replace quaternions as if they never existed with 5 lines of code. I did everything I ever wanted with 5 lines of code. I escaped the burning building with 5 lines of code. I can't, bro. This is pain. This is what everyone else is feeling right now. Their fingers are now glued to their top of their heads. They will always be scratching of like, please, leave me alone, quaternion. I have nothing to say to you.
And, in what might feel like a bit of black magic,
yeah, black magic. I am racist towards quaternions then.
computation link.
Eater.net, bro. I'm telling you guys, they know you're intimidated. They know you're fucking confused right now of like, what did you just say to me? I don't understand anything. Go to the eater, you know? Go inside the eater, alright? He will help you with quaternions.
The eater.net/
Sign up for the eater.
quaternions. And what's going on with this rotation?
Yeah, we're fucked, guys. We're fucked. We're literally fucking creating fucking quaternion mafia right now. I'm gonna die laughing. Quaternion mafia, bro. Please. Please don't hurt me. Oh my god.
Like math, you may have heard, you might even
Have I heard of quaternions? Please put that shit out of my head, bro. I want to unhear it now.
know that they're often used as a way of representing rotation in
Onions? You know, I once met someone who knew someone that said they're super confusing and to stay away from them.
Yeah, you better stay away from them, bro.
Sure. Quaternions are a four-dimensional extension of the complex numbers.
Thank you. That actually changed my mind. Changed my perspective. I finally understand.
PI. Quaternions are a
Oh. Yeah, that's good. I knew quaternions were complex, but what are they
form
exactly?
A plus BI
Quaternion is a four-dimensional. Must be a fucking demon.
plus CJ plus D,
I'm telling you, it is funny, isn't it?
where A, which has C and D
Fundamental. Fundamental, bro.
equal to 0.
Oh no.
Just like real 0.
Why nobody's talking about the quaternion identity?
Complex numbers with magnitude 1 results in a new complex number with magnitude 1.
Ah, I see.
I see now. He's gonna be my best friend. All you have to do is just multiply quaternions, and then you get the answer. Yeah, you get the rotation. Easy.
So multi.
Easy. You just now need to come up with what a quaternion is. Because if you multiply that, then you get the correct quaternion. Yeah,
Well, you're
no
partly
thanks.
right. In making a 3D rotation. Quaternions are four-dimensional, so it's not as simple as that.
Yeah, guys, it wasn't simple. We only did things in 2D space, I think. So we need two imaginary numbers, don't we? Oh, man. Oh, no. We need two imaginary numbers.
The multiplied.
We're literally watching brain damage right now. We're watching people venture into territory to reach for perfection, but you went so far away. Your path towards perfection is imperfect. It's kind of like finding a diamond, but then dying right after. You know? Did you really find a diamond? It's like one of those puzzles of you. Do you want to understand quaternions? Do you want to wake up tomorrow? Do you want to have $10 million, but you can't wake up tomorrow? It's the same way. Of like, if you want to understand quaternions, you will not be able to wake up the next day, but okay, you understand quaternions, absolutely. You will not actually solve anything by understanding them. You will never use them in actuality. But it's cool. Look at all these imaginary numbers.
Do not
Like, even this is too far, right? If I found a good solution to the problem, this is already too far. We already using an imperfect system that gives a perfection kind of impression. We don't know if quaternions can be improved significantly, because we have to create these complex videos that already make no sense immediately. Immediately, these videos make no sense. Alright, let's reveal the solution, so we have extra time. And sure, I'm not a nerd. I don't know what 4 dimensions mean. I don't try to pretend that I have found the ultimate solution, but it's simple. And AI confirmed that it's being used fucking everywhere. That's it. This and this. There's one angle and one vector, giving us 4 numbers. X, Y, Z, and A. Most of the time, I just want the object to face me by just, you know, the object has a face, and I just want that face to align with the vector, right? I have this, but look at me, dude. Look at me. So the vector has to align. That's all that has to happen, basically. It doesn't have to, you know, summon a fucking quaternion to rotate from here to here. It is just an axis, and it's technically doing just that, right? It's going from 0, 0, 0 to whatever the fuck vector is. And yes, it's normalized, whatever, right? But you know what it does when I do this? It does a very magical thing. I suddenly understand what I am doing. I understand what I'm doing immediately. I gave a simple instruction, look over here, Mr. Block. Okay? You look over here now. And without any complex instructions, without any complex numbers, I did that. I just said the thing to look over here and it started looking that direction. And if I want that thing to twist its head a little bit, I'll just, he will just ask how much. Out of 360 degrees, how much do you want me to twist my fucking head? All right? And then he will look like this. You know? When he looks at you, just like, eh, that's it. I asked the AI of like, okay, so I can't use Euler angles because of fucking some kind of gimbal locked bullshit. But what if one of the things is local? And then the AI started talking about this vector thing, and I'm like, yeah, okay, we can do vector. That makes sense. And we did it. It's done. That's it. That's all you need to know. In fact, you can quantify this. So we're kind of rotating along y-axis, right? If this is like 90 degrees, we don't even need the degrees of how much we're rotating. This is a fucking vector. We just define a vector of where you're looking. If this object has a position, we just define that. Minus 2 positions, a distance, and we can now look at that fucking object. But if we want like a rotate 90 degrees, we can imagine what the vector looks like, right? The vector goes from x of 1, going forwards along x-axis. It's going to go along z-axis, right? It's going to go from this to this, right? You can still fucking calculate that shit in your head, bro. And even if you go above and beyond what seems to be a circle, you can still just normalize it. Normalization is like super simple to understand. To normalize a vector is to create a boundary, basically, where instead of going like this, where it's like a 1, 1, it goes to a certain distance. That's it. Of like 1 point of distance. So 0, 1, 1, now let's go to a certain distance. Or like 1, 1 coordinate. So it stays in a sphere or a circle. That's normalization. This is all you need to know, and already you have plenty of tools of rotating objects. I don't even know. You might have all the tools you will ever need in your life. Alright? And this is just like the most baby thing ever. Because not only we no longer need to fucking store Euler angles or quaternions, we store this value specifically, and this value immediately rotates my objects where I want them to rotate. Game over, my friends. That's it. This whole time, I was uncomfortable fighting these demons, and there was a solution staring at me, and I found it, and apparently many people found it too. However, those people don't seem to make YouTube videos that have a lot of views. Unfortunate, isn't it? And now we're left fucking laughing at these people. This guy is funny. This guy is inherently funny. So let's laugh at this guy.
How do
Fantastic
you rotate
quaternions.
an object in 3 dimensions? So you
Why would you try to do that, dude? It's game over, dude.
take an object
Don't
like that,
don't stop it.
and rotate
Stop doing that.
it. That would be something
That is sexual assault, bro.
that's useful. You can imagine beyond the regular numbers you know. So there'd be
Of course, like it's the most obvious solution. You have to create imaginary numbers and then easy.
real numbers, as we call them. They're even beyond the complex numbers. If you've heard of complex numbers before,
Oh my God,
it's
stop.
even beyond that. They're called
Trying to find an explanation of why you sexually harassed someone. My reasons are beyond complex reasons, alright? My reasons are actually imaginary. Get out of jail free card, am I right? Oh, I'm kind of shizo mode, basically. It's shizo maths, basically, what we're using right now.
quaternions. That I move 4 units up
Ooh, he moved in 2 dimensions.
like that. One way you
Unfortunately, he will not be able to move in 3 dimensions with piece of paper.
could write that for I.
But already has to come up with an imaginary number for this of moving in 2 dimensions. That's a little
Some of you
weird.
may know what's coming and move along
Oh my god. What if he just traveled through here?
this
Absolutely.
diagonal line here. And that would be a plus.
I'm gonna let you guys know if I can make smooth rotations or whatnot, what problems I will encounter ahead. But if nobody's talking about my solution, that it potentially is the better one.
2I. And what? 3 across and then a further one?
Yeah, we're not learning about quaternions, are we?
This 90 degrees. If I rotate it 90 degrees, I. And that's where I end up if I rotate. These look
Wow.
similar to each other. Itself, I times I, is equal to -1. Just to show you what I did, I
Wow.
took where I was, 6. Well, let's call it.
Yeah, just a smooth transition into the world of I don't fucking understand. You know, I don't fucking understand. I love it. It's a cool imaginary dimension of just imaginary rules, I guess.
I squared. Oh, what is that? You may recognize these as complex numbers, which, by the way, is a terrible name. Complex numbers, which makes them sound like difficult numbers, which I don't think is the intention. I
I'm pretty sure that's the
think the idea is
intention.
they are compound numbers. They're actually
I don't know about that. See, like, I enter this conversation and we immediately introduce, like, a complex number, and I understand that the conversation now derailed into just, like, a fucking imaginary world.
numbers are 2-dimensional numbers.
Well, yeah, you basically can't add them together, but can we just, like, think about vectors for once? Like, vectors are also 2-dimensional and a lot easier to understand. You just can't add them together, necessarily. Technically, this is the actual representation. But we have plus in here, which is like a weird cousin of x, I guess, and then fucking I, which is a weird cousin of y. Yeah, why? Exactly. That's what I asked. And I don't understand anything. In this amount of time that I gave to them to explain what the concept of quaternions is, I was able to explain this quite easily. Now, of course, I can't explain the actual rotation happening behind the scenes, but I can explain what it's made out of, and when you plug it in, it just spits you the answer. Unfortunately, that's where we are right now. I genuinely don't give a fuck how this calculation is made. I just know it works exactly how I want it to, and has defeated the other 2 attempts into rotating my objects. Pathetic quaternions and Euler angles. Euler angles. Alright? They are dead now. And I will run my... As a proof, I will run this code. Everything else is commented. All of these 25 lines or more are gone now. Error. Okay, I did use this float thingy. It's gonna float all the way up here. Just to show you guys that everything works flawlessly, and from this point forward, hopefully they will not come back from the dead to haunt me. See, I figured every single object has a distinct forward face. Even something as stupid as Apple. It still has a forward face. You know, this this little butt crack, it still moves forward. So you can point it at any position you want and then rotate around this point. You can twist it around. And then you have every single rotation, and it's easy to build it and interpolate it across because it's a vector as well. It's a fucking spherical vector that interpolates easily. I genuinely don't think I will ever have a problem with my solution. And without these pieces of code, nothing changed because they were never used. The end, my friends. I am finally free. And I will walk off into the distance. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.